Hello kittens! So this is going to be my second attempt. I had recording issues yesterday, but I'm going to be reading the first chapter, hopefully the whole chapter, but it is a bit long, of Can You Keep a Secret by Sophie Kinsella. She is the author of the Shopaholic series. Honestly, I didn't love that series, but I am quite fond of this one. But the nice thing about her books is they're a little more grown up compared to one of the other options that was voted for was more of a YA novel. So hopefully this isn't terrible. Hopefully you guys can put this in the background and just do your thing and absorb a book. All right, chapter 1. Of course I have secrets. Of course I do. Everyone has a few secrets. It's completely normal. I'm not talking about big, earth-shattering secrets, not the president is planning to bomb Japan and only Will Smith can save the world type secrets. Just normal, everyday secrets. Like, for example, here are a few random secrets off the top of my head. Number 1, my Kate Spade bag is fake. Number 2, I love sweet sherry, the least cool drink on the planet. Number 3, I have no idea what NATO stands for or what exactly it is. Number 4, I weigh 128 pounds, not 118, like my boyfriend Connor thinks. Although, in my defense, I was planning on going on a diet when I told him that. And to be fair, it's only one number different. Number 5, I've always thought Connor looks a bit like Ken, as in Barbie and Ken. Number 6, sometimes when we're right in the middle of passionate sex, I suddenly want to laugh. Number 7, I lost my virginity in the spare room with Danny Nussbaum while Mom and Dad were downstairs watching Ben-Hur. Number 8, I've already drunk the wine that Dad told me to save for 20 years. Number 9, Sammy the goldfish at home isn't the same goldfish that Mom and Dad asked me to look after when they went to Egypt. Number 10, when my colleague Artemis really annoys me, I feed her plant orange juice, which is like pretty much every day. Number 11, I once had this weird lesbian dream about my flatmate Lizzie. Number 12, my G-string is hurting me. Number 13, I've always had this deep down conviction that I'm not like everybody else and there's an amazing, exciting new life waiting for me just around the corner. Number 14, I have no idea what this guy in the gray suit is going on about. Number 15, plus I've forgotten his name. And I only met him 10 minutes ago. We believe that multi-logistical formative alliances, he's saying in a nasal, droning voice, both above and below the line. Absolutely, I reply brightly, as though to say, doesn't everybody? Multi-logistical, what does that mean again? Oh God, what if they ask me? Don't be stupid, Emma. They won't suddenly demand what is multi-logistical mean. I'm a fellow marketing professional, aren't I? Obviously, I know these things. And anyway, if I mention it again, I'll change the subject. Or say I'm post-logistical or something. The important thing is to keep confident and businesslike. I can do this. This is my big chance. I'm not going to screw it up. I'm sitting in the offices of Glen Oil's headquarters in Glasgow, and I glance at my reflection in the window. I look just like a top businesswoman. My shoulder-length hair is straightened after half an hour with the hairdryer and a whole bottle of serum. I'm wearing a discreet gold swirl earrings like they tell you to in How to Win a Job articles. And I've got my smart new jigsaw suit. At least it's practically new. I got it from the cancer research shop and sewed on a button to replace the missing one, and you can hardly tell. I'm here representing Panther Corporation, which is where I work. The meeting is to finalize a promotional arrangement between the new cranberry flavored Panther Prime sports drink and Glen Oil. And I flew up this morning from London, especially. When I arrived, the two Glen Oil marketing guys started on a long conversation of show-offy, who's traveled the most, conversation about air miles and red-eye to Washington, and I think I bluffed pretty convincingly, but the truth is, this is my first time I've ever traveled for work. Okay, the real truth is, this is my first business meeting I've attended on my own. I've been at Panther Corporation for 11 months as a marketing assistant, which is bottom level in our department. I started off doing menial tasks like typing letters, getting sandwiches, collecting my boss Paul's dry cleaning. But after a couple months, I was allowed to start checking copy. Then a few months ago, I got to write my very own promotional leaflet for a tie-in with washing powder. God, I was excited. I brought a creative writing book, I bought a creative writing book, especially to help me, and I spent all weekend working on it. I was really pleased with the result, even if it didn't have a misunderstood villain like the book suggested. Even if Paul did just glance at the copy and say, fine, and kind of forget to tell anyone I wrote it. Since then, I've done a fair bit of writing promotional literature, and I've sat in on a few meetings with Paul. So I really think I'm moving up the ladder. In lots of ways, I'm practically a marketing executive already. Except the tiny point that I still just seem to do as much typing as before, and getting the sandwiches, and collecting dry cleaning. I just do it as well as my other jobs. Especially since our secretary, Gloria, left a few weeks ago and still hasn't been replaced. But that's all going to change. I know it is. This meeting is my big break. It's my first chance to show Paul what I'm really capable of. I had to beg him to let me go after all. Glen Oil and Panther have done loads of deals together in the past. It's not like there'll be any surprises. But deep down, I know I'm here just because I was in his office when he realized he double booked with an awards lunch, and most of the department was already attending it. So here I am, representing the company. And my secret hope is that I do well today, and I'll get promoted. The job ad said possibility of promotion after a year. And it's nearly been a year. And on Monday, I'm having my appraisal meeting. I looked up appraisals in the staff induction book, and they said they're an ideal opportunity to discuss possibilities for career advancement. At the thought, I feel the familiar stab of longing. It would show Dad that I'm not just a complete loser, and Mom and Carrie that if I go home and say, by the way, I've been promoted to marketing executive. Emma Corrigan, marketing executive. Emma Corrigan, senior vice president of marketing. As long as everything goes well today, Paul said that the deal was pretty much done and dusted, and all I had to do was raise one point about timing, and even then I should be able to manage that. And so far I reckon it's going well. Okay, so I don't understand some of the terms they're using. But then I don't understand most of my GCSE French oral either, and I still got a B. Rebranding, analysis, cost effective. The man in the gray suit is still droning on. As casually as possible, I extend my hand to inch his business card towards me so I can read it. Doug Hamilton. That's right, I can just remember Doug. I'll picture a shovel, together with a ham, which looks ill And, okay, forget this. I'll just write it down. I write down rebranding and Doug Hamilton on my notepad and give an uncomfortable wriggle. God, my knickers are really uncomfortable. I mean, G-strings are never comfortable, but at the best of times, but these are particularly bad, which could be because they're 2 sizes too small. Which could possibly be because Connor bought them for me. He told the lingerie assistant that I weighed 118 pounds, whereupon she told him I must be a size 4. Size 4. So it got to Christmas and we were exchanging Christmas presents, and I unwrapped this pair of gorgeous pale pink silk knickers. Size 4. I basically had 2 options. A, confess the truth. Actually, these are too small and I'm more of an 8. And by the way, I don't really weigh 118 pounds. Or B, shoehorn myself into them. Actually, it was fine. You could hardly see the red lines on my skin afterwards. And all it meant was that I had to quickly cut the labels out of all my clothes so Connor would never notice. Since then, I've hardly worn this particular set of underwear. Needless to say. But every so often I see them looking all nice and expensive in the drawer and think, oh, come on, they can't be that tight, and somehow squeeze into them, which is what I did this morning. I even decided that I must have lost weight because they didn't feel too bad. I am such a deluded moron. Unfortunately, since rebranding, major rethink, feel we need to consider alternative synergies. Up to now, I've just been sitting and nodding, thinking this business meeting is really easy. But now Doug Hamilton's voice is starting to impinge on my consciousness. What is he saying? 2 products diverging, becoming incompatible. What was that about incompatible? What was that about major rethink? I felt a jolt of alarm. We appreciate the functional, synergetic partnership that Panther and Glen Oil have enjoyed in the past, Doug Hamilton is saying. But you'll agree that clearly we're going in different directions. Different directions? My stomach gives an anxious lurk. He can't be... He's trying to pull out of the deal. Excuse me, Doug, I say in my more relaxed voice. Obviously, I was closely following what you were saying earlier. I give a friendly, we're all professionals together smile. But if you could just recap the situation for all our benefits. In plain English, I beg silently. Doug Hamilton and the other guys exchange glances. We're a little bit unhappy about your brand values, says Doug Hamilton. My brand values? I echo in panic. The brand values of the product, he says, giving an odd look. As I've been explaining, we here at Glen Oil are going through a rebranding process at the moment, and we see the new image as a very caring petrol. As our new daffodil logo demonstrates, we feel Panther Prime, with its emphasis on sport and competition, is simply too aggressive. Aggressive? I stare at him in bewilderment. But it's a fruit drink. This makes no sense. Glen Oil is fume making the world go round petrol. Panther Prime is an innocent cranberry flavored drink. How can it be too aggressive? The values it espouses, he gestures at the marketing brochure on the table. Drive, elitism, masculinity. The very slogan, don't pause. Frankly, it seems a little dated. We just don't think a joint initiative will be possible. No, this can't be happening. He's pulling out. Everyone in the office will think it's my fault. They'll think I cocked up and completely crap. And that I'm completely crap. My heart is thumping. My face is hot. I can't let this happen. But what do I say? I haven't prepared anything. Paul said the promotion was all set up and that all I had to do was tell them that I wanted to bring it forward to June. Well, we'll certainly discuss it before we make a decision, Doug's saying. And he gives me a brief smile. And I say we would like to continue links with Panther Corporation. This has been a useful meeting in any case. He's pushing back his chair. I can't let it slip away. I have to win them over. Wait, I hear myself say. Just a moment. I have a few points to make. There's a can of Panther Prime sitting on the desk. I grab it for inspiration. Playing for time, I stand up and walk to the center of the room, raise the Panther can high in the air. Panther Prime is a sports drink. I stop politely. My face is prickling. It is very... Oh God, what am I doing? Come on, Emma. Think. Panther Prime. Yes, Panther Cola. I think. Yes, of course. Since the launch of Panther Cola in the 1980s, Panther drinks have been a byword for energy, excitement, and excellence. Thank God this is the standard marketing blurb for the Panther Cola that I've typed it so many times I could recite it in my sleep. Panther drinks are a marketing phenomenon, I continue. The Panther character is one of the most widely recognized in the world, while its classic slogan, "Don't Pause," has made it into dictionaries. We are offering Glen Oil an exclusive opportunity to strengthen its association with this premium world-famous brand. My confidence is growing, and I start to stride around the room, gesturing at the can. By buying a Panther health drink, the consumer is signaling that he will settle for nothing but the best. I hit the can sharply with my other hand. He expects the best from his energy drink. He expects the best from his petrol. He expects the best for himself. I'm flying. I'm fantastic. If Paul could see me now, he'd give me a promotion on the spot. I come over to the desk, look at Doug Hamilton in the eye. When the Panther consumer opens that can, he is making a choice that tells the world who he is. I'm asking Glen Oil to make the same choice. As I finish speaking, I plant the can firmly in the middle of the desk and reach for the ring to pull, and with a cool smile, I snap it back. And a volcano erupts. Fizzy cranberry-flavored drink explodes, whoosh out of the can, drenching the papers and the blotters in lurid red liquid. And oh no, please no, it's splattering all over Doug Hamilton's shirt. Fuck, I gasp. I mean, I'm really sorry. Jesus Christ, says Doug Hamilton irritably, standing up with a handkerchief in his pocket. Does the stuff stain? I grab the can helplessly. I don't know. I'll get a cloth, he says, and leaps to his feet. The door closes behind him. There's a silence apart from the sound of cranberry drink slipping slowly onto the floor. I stare at Doug Hamilton, my face hot and blood throbbing through my ears. Please, my voice is husky. Don't tell my boss. After all that, I screwed it up. As I drag my heels across the concourse at Glasgow Airport, I feel completely dejected. Doug Hamilton was quite sweet in the end. He said he was sure the stain would come out, and he promised he wouldn't tell Paul what happened. But he didn't change his mind about the deal. My first big chance, and this is what happens. I feel like phoning the office and saying, "That's it, I'm never coming back again, and by the way, it was me who jammed the photocopier that time." But I can't. This is my third career in 4 years. It has to work. For my own self-worth, for my own self-esteem, and because I owe my dad 4,000 quid. I've arrived at the airport with an hour or so to go and head straight for the bar. "So what can I get you?" says the Australian bartender. I look up at him in a daze. My mind is blank. White wine? No, actually, vodka tonic. Thanks. He moves away, and I slump down again in my stool. An air hostess with a fair hair and a French plate comes and sits down on the 2 bar stools away. She smiles at me, and I smile weakly in return. I don't know how other people manage their careers. I really don't. Like my oldest friend, Lizzie. She always knows what to do and always wanted to be a lawyer. And now, ta-da, she's a fraud barrister. But I left college with absolutely no clue. My first job was a real estate agent. And I only went there because I quite liked looking around houses. Plus, I met this woman with an amazing red lacquered nails at the career fair who told me she made so much money. She'd be able to retire when she was 40. But the minute I started, I hated it. I hated all the other trainees. I hated saying things like a lovely aspect, and I hated the way someone said they could afford $300,000. We were supposed to give them details of the house costing at least $400,000, and then kind of look down at our noses like, you only have 300,000 pounds? God, you're such a complete loser. So after 6 months, I announced I was changing careers and was going to be a photographer instead. It was such a fantastic moment. I like in film or something. My dad lent me money for a photography course and a camera, and I was going to launch this amazing creative new career. And it was going to be like the start of my new life. Except it didn't quite happen like that. For a start, do you have any idea how much a photographer's assistant gets paid? Nothing. It's nothing. Which, I wouldn't have minded if anyone had actually offered me a photographer's assistant job. I heave and sigh and gaze at my doleful expression in the mirror behind the bar. As well as everything else, my hair's gone all frizzy. So much for salon serum, for that 24-hour professional salon look. At least I wasn't the only one who didn't get anywhere. Out of the 8 people in my course, one became instantly successful and now does photos for Vogue. One does wedding photography. One had an affair with the tutor. One went traveling. One had a baby. One works at Snappy Snaps. And the other one is now Morgan Stanley. Meanwhile, I got more and more into debt. So I started temping and applying for jobs that actually paid money. And eventually, 11 months ago, I started as a marketing assistant at Panther Corporation. The barman places a vodka tonic in front of me, gives me a quizzical look. Cheer up, he says. It can't be that bad. Thanks, I say gratefully and take a sip. It feels a bit better. I ought to call Paul and give him a report, but I just can't face it. Anyway, he's probably still out at the awards lunch. He won't want me disturbing him on his mobile, and it can wait till Monday. I'm just taking a second sip of vodka when my mobile starts to ring. I feel the beat of nerves. If it's the office, I'll just pretend I didn't hear. If it's not, but it's not. It's our home number flashing on the little screen. I press and answer. Hi. Hiya, comes Lissy's voice. Only me. How did it go? Lissy is not only my oldest friend but my flatmate too. She has tufty dark hair with an IQ of about 600 and is the sweetest person I know. It was a disaster, I said miserably. It can't have been that bad. Lissy, I drenched the marketing director of Glen Oil and cranberry drink. Along the bar, I see the air hostess hiding a smile, and I feel myself flush. Great, now the whole world knows. Oh dear, I can almost feel Lissy trying to think of something positive to say. Well, at least you got their attention, she says at last. At least they won't forget you in a hurry, I suppose, I say morosely. So, did you have any messages? Do I have any messages? Oh, no, I mean, your dad did phone, but it wasn't. She trails off evasively. Lissy, what did he want? There's a pause. Apparently your cousin's won some industry award, she says apologetically. They're going to be celebrating it on Saturday as well as your mom's birthday. Oh, great. I slumped deeper into my chair. That's all I need. My cousin Carrie triumphantly clutching some silver best office furniture salesperson in the whole wide world, no make that universe trophy. And Connor rang too, to see how you got on, adds Lissy. He was really sweet. He said he didn't want to ring your mobile during the meeting, just in case it disturbed you. Really? For the first time today, I feel a lift in my spirits. Connor, my boyfriend, my lovely, thoughtful boyfriend. He's such a sweetheart, Lissy was saying. He said he's tied up in a big meeting all afternoon, but he's canceled his squash game tonight, especially. So, do you want to go out for supper tonight? Oh, I said, pleased. Oh, well, that'll be nice. Thanks, Lissy. I clicked off and took another sip of vodka, feeling more and more cheerful. My boyfriend. It's just like Julie Andrews said, when a dog bites, when the bee stings, I simply have to remember I have a boyfriend. And suddenly things don't seem so completely shit, or however she put it. And not just any boyfriend. Tall, dark, handsome, clever boyfriend whom Marketing Week called one of the brightest sparks in marketing research today. I sit nursing my vodka, allowing thoughts of Connor to comfort me. This way, his blonde hair that shines in the sunshine, the way he's always smiling, and the way he upgraded all the software on my computer the other day without me even asking. That's why my mind's gone blank. This is ridiculous. I mean, there's so much that's wonderful about Connor, from his long legs, yes, and his beautiful broad shoulders, to the time he looked after me while I had the flu. I mean, not many boyfriends do that. Exactly. I'm so lucky. I really am. I put my phone away and run my fingers through my hair, and I glance at the clock behind the bar. 40 minutes before the flight. Not long to go now. My nerves are starting to creep over me like insects. I take a big gulp of vodka, draining my glass. It'll be fine, I tell myself for the zillionth time. It'll be absolutely fine. I'm not frightened. I'm just... Okay, I'm frightened. Number 16. I'm scared of flying. I've never told anyone, but I'm scared of flying. It just sounds so lame. And I mean, it's not like I'm phobic or anything. I just can't get on the plane. It's not like I can't get on the plane. It's just things being equal, I would prefer to be on the ground. On the way up here this morning, I was so excited about the meeting. It was almost a distraction from my fear. But even so, I kept feeling bursts of panic, and I kept having to close my eyes and take deep breaths. And ever since I landed, it's been ticking away at the back of my mind. I have to fly back. I have to get on a plane again. I never used to be scared, but over the last few years, I've gradually gotten more and more nervous. I know it's completely irrational. I know thousands of people fly every day, and it's practically safer than laying in bed. You have less of a chance of being in a plane crash than finding a man in London or something. But still, I just don't like it. Maybe I'll have another quick vodka. By the time my flight is called, I've drunk 2 more vodkas, and I'm feeling a lot more positive. I mean, Lissy's right. At least I made an impression, didn't I? At least they'll remember who I am. As I stride towards the gate, clutching my briefcase, I almost start to feel the confident businesswoman again. A couple of people smile at me as they pass, and I smile broadly back, feeling the warm glow of friendliness. You see, the world's not so bad after all, and it's just a question of being positive. Anything can happen in life, can't it? And you know what's around the corner? And you never know what's around the corner. I reached the entrance of the plane, and there at the door, taking boarding passes, is the air hostess with a French plate who was sitting next to me in the bar earlier. Hi again, I said, smiling. This is a coincidence? The air hostess stares at me. Hi, what? Why does she look embarrassed? Sorry, it's just, that. She gestures awkwardly at my friend. What is it? I pleasantly look down and freeze aghast. Somehow, my silky shirt has been unbuttoning itself while I've been walking along. 3 buttons have come undone, and it's gaping at the front. My bra shows, my pink lacy bra, and that one with a little blobby in the wash. That went a little blobby in the wash. That's why those people were smiling at me. Not because the world is a nice place, but because I'm pink blobby bra woman. Thanks, I mutter. I do up the buttons with fumbling fingers, face hot with humiliation. Hasn't been your day, has it? Says the air hostess sympathetically, holding out a hand for my boarding pass. Sorry, I couldn't help overhearing earlier. That's all right, I say with a half smile. No, it hasn't been the best day of my life. And there's a short silence as she studies my boarding pass. Tell you what, she says in a low voice. Would you like an onboard upgrade? A what? Come on, you deserve a break. Really? But can you just upgrade people like that? If there are spare seats, we can. And we use our discretion. And this flight is short. She gives me a conspiratorial smile. Just don't tell anyone, okay? She leads me to the front section of the plane and gestures to a big wide seat. I've never been upgraded before in my life. I can't quite believe she's really letting me do this. Is this first class? I whisper. In the hushed luxury atmosphere, a man in a smart suit is tapping at a laptop to my right. 2 elderly women in the corner are plugging themselves into headsets. Business class. There is no first class on this flight. She lifts her voice to a normal volume. Is everything okay for you? It's perfect. Thanks very much. No problem. She smiles again and walks away. I push my briefcase under the seat in the front. Wow, this really is lovely. Comfortable seats and footrests and everything. It's going to be a completely pleasurable experience from the start to finish. I reach for my seatbelt and buckle it up nonchalantly, trying to ignore the flutters of apprehension in my stomach. Would you like some champagne? It's my friend air hostess beaming down at me. That would be great. Thanks, champagne. And for you, sir, some champagne? There's a man in the seat next to mine who hasn't even looked up yet. He's wearing jeans and an old sweatshirt and is staring out the window. As he turns to answer, I catch a glimpse of his dark eyes, stubble, and deep frown etched into his forehead. Just a brandy, thanks. His voice is dry and has an American accent. I'm about to ask him politely where he's from, but he immediately turns back and stares at the window again, which is fine.